I am so flustered. One of my USB, the thing on the back of my computer where you plug in USB things, seems to have gone out. So I was moving stuff around, and my keyboard wouldn't work, and the mouse wouldn't work, and so I couldn't log on. It was just a hot mess. So I'm kind of flustered. So now I'm just over here clicking buttons, just doing anything just to try to get to you guys. So anyway, hi. I'm glad I finally made it. Why has it been such a challenging month for me? And it's only like what, the 11th, the 12th day of the month. I'm ready, so ready for this year to be over. I don't know about everybody else. I'm ready. I'm tired of 2021. I'm sick of 2022. 2019 wasn't that great either. So, but anyway, I hope you guys had a good weekend so far. Now, this is a full audience participation show. You can either type, because I'm going to be asking some questions. So you can type what you think into the chat room. I will select comments and, make them live on the screen. Or you can call in. Here's the link. I guess I don't know if it's call, but whatever it is. Anyway, you click that and then you use your phone or you have a headset mic, you can call in and share your thoughts. So this is what we're going to talk about tonight. We are discussing I don't even know, I can't even say it's recent, but for the past few years, we have all noticed how uh, manhood seems to have taken a shift. It's taken a shift in a very weird direction, even to the point where they want to claim that they're women now. Okay, that's that one end of the extreme. And then at the other end are the masculine, manly men that women just fall all over themselves for because they're just full of testosterone and muscles and just ooh, you just feel all safe and snuggly buggly and womanly and feminine around them and stuff. Okay, so we got two opposite ends of the spectrum, but they are both males. Then in the middle or somewhere, in flux in there somewhere, are the men who sometimes they act masculine and sometimes they act like big babies and they just do really weird stuff. They have a strange mentality. And at this point, a lot of them are band together in these little online groups and they complain about feminism and they complain that women don't know how to be wives anymore and that women don't want them and, that women only want, thugs and in the white community, what they call them brads or something and chads or something. And so, it's a very interesting dynamic. And then in Japan, they have the guys who don't want to ever leave their room. They have a name for it, hikimori or something, whatever they have a name for it. I mean, it's like such a phenomenon in that country that they are actually giving it the syndrome a name. Young men in the prime of their mating life, when they should be getting married and being fathers and having children, instead barricade themselves in a room at their parents' house. They don't want to come out. They don't bathe. They don't go to work. They don't do anything but stay in their room. It's like they're terrified of the world and of stepping out into it to be men. And then you have those guys who, go around doing everything that they can to hurt women and girls. So in this weird spectrum of, the modern, was under the umbrella of the modern man, we have a lot of really dysfunctional, weird-minded, just really messed up guys that are out here in society trying to be in dating relationships with women. Some women, as we see in the advice column, married them or they date them, they live with them, they have children with them. And then it's like they wake up from the fog that they're in and realize that they're with an idiot, a fool, a dysfunctional moron. And then they write and they want to talk about, what can I do? And it's like, your first mistake was you fucked up choosing this person. What was you thinking? He was an idiot when you met him, and he's still one. So this is what I wrote on the community wall that women responded to. Let me put this in here so you guys can get ready. So you can get ready. This is where you're going to click the link to come up here, and make your case. It says, okay, so I haven't even put up the show page yet. This is what I typed on the community wall about 2 weeks ago. But this is going to be the discussion on Sunday at 4. Come ready to share your stories of baby men, whining men, crybaby men, needy, begging ass men, always crying about something that happened 30 years ago men, childish, immature men, and men who seek to be women in every way imaginable. What in the world is wrong with these folks? Let's go all in on them and drag them for their total lack of masculinity. So that's what I wrote, and you guys were like thinking it was funny. Okay, so thank you, babiness. Uh, that's a cute little name, babiness. Okay, so winning posted. They are emotional all over YouTube, complaining about feminism and things that don't even affect their lives. And they complain and whine like a bunch of little bitches. I mean, really, all they think they want to do is, get in some woman into bed. That's like the epitome of their level of success. And then we had on the opposite side a young man who was, he admitted that he's struggling in this direction, and he typed, this was a couple of days ago too, I would like to be more masculine, but I don't really know how. And I have to appreciate his honesty and candor because of the fact that I think that's the situation with most of these young men these days. They don't really know how. Lack of fathers has a big impact on them. But even a lot of the fathers who are there, because ladies, and I can't say it's really your fault because nobody taught you either, or you had a dysfunctional male role model in your house. So of course you don't know any different, and you pick a man like the ones that your mom or auntie or grandmother, foster mother, whatever, whoever had, was around you, picked, and that's for you your model of manhood. So you don't really know any better. So I can't really say that I'm not going to be like some of these dudes where they say, well, you picked him and this and that, because I understand that dysfunction is generational, and if you grow up or born into or somehow land by adoption, foster parenting, whatever, in a situation like that, that's all you see. So that's all you know. Until you come to a channel like this one, or some kind of person like me who's going to teach you differently. So I'm not blaming anybody. What I'm saying, this is something that we need to discuss. And again, these are lessons for women to know who may have been in those dysfunctional environments growing up, to understand that's not true manhood. You don't take a man, that's not a man. You don't align yourself with somebody like that. You don't stay with somebody like that. You don't help a man be a man. You don't help a man come up. You don't do anything. He's got to do that on his own. Otherwise, he's just a little, as Winnie calls him, bisha. You know, we don't mention names, Kristen, in here. Please remove that comment. We don't put those clowns' names, even though he might have said something intelligent one time in his life. I don't let people. You don't put people's names in the chat. No YouTubers' names. Nobody's name in my chat. You refer to them vaguely by some, weird whatever euphemism, but we do not use their names. Thank you. Okay. This is good to remind people of that too, because we have a lot of new people coming in. We don't ever mention them by name because I don't want them to ever be linked to my channel to get any pub or traffic from my channel. Nothing. They don't deserve your eyeballs, okay? Unless they saying something sensible, then I might mention them. But other than that, they don't get that here. Okay, now there's a video that I did called, when would I do this video? I don't know, a couple of years ago, called The Modern Men and Relationships, Manhood and the End of the Manly Man. It ties directly into this, but you got to figure that was done years ago, way before the big push that we have now, for all this trans stuff, and the infringement of men into girl sports, and women's, just all kinds of stuff. Okay, so it's what has happened, what I talked about 4 years ago or so. I kind of was hinting at it. Well, it's already happened. And it's going downhill in the handbasket, even worse. So for women, these things are key. You guys want, a lot of young girls are still being programmed to think that they're going to grow up and they're going to, meet their knight in shining armor and they prince on a steed, and he's going to carry them away, and they're going to live happily ever after and have all these kids and be married, and life is going to be all wonderful and all this and all that kind of stuff. But I'm telling you, it's great that you are being raised that way and you are being taught these things. But if on the other side they're not being taught to be those people, then where does that leave you? This is why we have to have this reality check, because too many young women are talking about, I want to have a man, I want to have a husband, I want to have a family, I want this, I want to get married, this and that. But the men are not, they're not qualified to be those things. They don't even know how to be those things. I went on Reddit today. Let me tell you about the education I got. Okay, first of all, there was this girl that she put, let me see if I copied her letter. Because with her post rather, I don't know if I did or not, but I kind of, hold on a second. Because I kind of remember there was a whole bunch of them though, just all kind of dysfunctional nonsense going on. Uh, Hold on. Well, I should have put these all on a separate page instead of, I was trying to save my paper. Save a tree. So I just put them all like back to back, back to back. That wasn't a good idea. Okay, well, anyway, I remember what she said. Okay, so she's, was been dating this guy for 3 or 4 years, and he has 3 years because he has a 13-year-old daughter. Because I remember she got with the man when the girl was 10. So the guy got laid off a year or so ago, and he got another job, but he's not making nearly as much money as he was. And so she, about 5 months ago, left her place and moved in with him and his daughter. She writes in her note, I am paying half or more of the bills every month. So what does that mean? That means he's saving money by the impact financial benefit. He has a financial benefit for her to be there paying half or more, because this is what half or more is in quotes, of his bills, the bills for the household. So, but in the meantime, while she's paying half or more of the mortgage, she's not getting any equity on that. She just gets no benefit from that. Not like you get any when she's renting either, but if she got money to be paying all that, she could be buying her own place, like a little townhouse or something, condo, something, right? And so then she was saying how she had a birthday, right? And so he was like, well, I couldn't really afford it. He couldn't afford to take her to this restaurant, so he cooked. And she said that was good. The food was good, but she had wanted this particular cake. He didn't have to get her a present. All he had to do was get her this cake that she wanted, right, for her birthday. And he told her I couldn't do it. And he didn't afford it, so he made her a box cake. Him and his daughter made her a cake, and she was saying, well, she had wanted this other thing. That's all she asked for, right? He chose to make the dinner and what the ingredients were and all that kind of stuff, and which is nice, but whatever. All she really wanted was this cake. Instead, he made her a cake of some Dunkin' Hot. You could just imagine box cakes are nasty as hell. I'm sorry, I don't eat that stuff. And so she was really, yeah, girl. I'm gonna get to that in a minute, sweet Melody. Hold that thought. And so she was like, talking about it, and it was the "Am I the asshole" board thing. That's what it was. And so she was, saying, well, was she one because she didn't really, like the cake, and the daughter was mad, and he was mad at her, saying, well, you should at least acted like you liked the cake and faked it and this and that. So, everybody was like, yeah, you're the asshole, you're this, you're that, and I was like the lone voice of dissension. I'm like, fuck that broke motherfucker, get your shit a move the hell out. Why you in there paying half of his bill? If you were there, he should be paying 2/3 at least, right? Because she's only a third of the people in the house, but she's paying more than half. That means she's covering for his daughter too. His daughter. That's not her kid, and she's not married. And I pointed that out to her. It's like, what the fuck? Leave his broke ass and let him deal with what he needs to be dealing with, because he don't need to be paying attention to nobody except trying to get his money right and stuff. And so I said, that she was getting pimped into her moving in there paying more than half in a situation where 2/3 of the people is not even related to her. I'm like, this is some bullshit. And so, you should see all them white people got so mad they downvoted me, and they was all in their feelings, and this saying, this thing should deserve more downvotes, and how can you call yourself an advice columnist? And I said, they just be all in their feelings. I'm like, y'all is a trippy over here. You the most unrealistic, emotional motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life. Unfucking realistic. This woman is paying two-thirds of the bill, and she's 1/3 of the people. She's getting pimped. And I don't care what you call it, what kind of way you try to frame it. She's being used for his convenience. She need to move the fuck out. And so I don't care if they did. Because you know what I said was not idiot. And one guy says, "Oh, you're an idiot" or something. I said, "Your mama." You know I don't take that stuff seriously. And after you tangle with niggas online for the last 20 years, you think some little crazy white teenagers is gonna drive me crazy? I'm like, I don't care what you say. I'm gonna say what the fuck I feel like saying. As long as you don't violate their their policies and stuff, what they gonna do? The people don't have to like you. That's why they have up and down votes. But it's like, as long as I don't violate the policies, they can't do nothing to me because you can appeal. Yeah, Reddit is a train wreck. You're right. And so, but that's where I went anyway today, and I found all these examples of men who are weak and confused. And I'm gonna tell you something else. Never in my life have I seen so many men who don't know what the fuck they're doing. And they openly admit it. Why would you post that online that you don't know what the fuck you're doing? I'm lost. I'm confused. I'm directionless. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, even if you don't, you're supposed to go to some older man and try and work that out with him. You don't post that online and let everybody know you stupid and a loser. I swear, I don't know. I think like I have more nuts than most of these men do. How can you even portray yourself like that? Like to let everybody know you just a little bitch. Why would you do that? And it's all over Reddit. I'm like, man. And that's mostly white folks on that just on that site. So it's like, you all these women talk about divest. You crazy too. I don't believe in that by the color shit. I believe a person is going to be a person and you got to vet them all. I don't care where he's from. I don't care what race he is, what ethnicity, where he come from on this planet. I don't care about any of that because that's just superficial shit. You go by what kind of man he is. And I'm telling you, by what I saw, they just as dusty as all these niggas y'all be running from. So I don't see the difference. I wouldn't put that up there, but I'm just telling you, you go and spend enough time over there, you'll see what I'm talking about. So let's talk about what kinds of behavior traits that you ladies think are not manly. We're talking about things that men do, things that men say, ways that men act that you don't think meet the standard of being manly. They're childish, they're dusty, they're like, eye rolling, they're portray themselves as immature. What do you see? Yeah, okay, so somebody says men want you to go 50-50. Absolutely. I put that on my list too. So you guys just, type, and if anybody wants to say their comments out loud on the show, here's the link. There you go. You just click that and then you can join me up here on the stage. Yes, worse than whining when they say no are the ones who get mad when you say no. They strike out like toddlers. His comments are full of dust and delusion. Oh no, not the double D. Dusty delusions. Yep, no self-awareness, lack of accountability. She say whining when you say no. They play video games all the time. They childish. Yep, men that are always complaining. Oh my God, yes. Yes. Complaining. Non-fucking stop. Ooh, they just sound like little. I just love this bishas. They sound like bishas. Tantrums. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the conversation. Yeah, know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Yeah, cause you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I have a hotline. Hold on, Roger. A Rogers. Cause I always forget I gotta put these headphones on, and here they are all tangled up from Tuesday when I was also disorganized. Why can't I get it together? I'm being affected by my Reddit time today. Hold on, girl. I'll get to you two here. Okay, A Rogers.
Hi.
Oh, you
I
can
don't.
turn your camera off, and then you'll just be on by audio.
How do I? This is my. There we go. Does that do it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, honestly, I don't have anything. This is just my first time on StreamYard, and I love your
Oh,
channel. And I just had to get on to say, love your channel, and I love the. I mean, I love the. I'm nervous.
well, I see you a lot in the chat and on the wall, so it's good to meet you.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. Yeah, such a fun channel, and the squad is awesome. And I'm so sorry to take up your time. I really don't have anything. I just
Okay,
wanted to take
okay,
the opportunity to
okay. Well,
join.
let me get Kier on here. Okay, talk to you later. Okay, Kier, your turn.
All right. Hey, can you hear me?
Mm,
All right. So we talking about these emotional men. Got it. Okay. First thing I have is blaming everything on women when we weren't even anywhere around them when they was doing they fuck shit. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of being blamed for your nonsense. See, they always want to blame. Oh, it's about single mothers. Okay, well, why don't you answer me this? If it's about single mothers, then why is it the girls that are raised by single mothers they don't act the way you do? They don't turn out the way you do. The
yeah, they
numbers
don't
would
have
be
nothing to say with
dead.
that.
They would be dead close if that was the case. They would be somewhere in the range of close, just like when we're not married, it's relatively close. Our weight, relatively close. Our livelihoods, again, relatively close. Single mothers is nowhere near. So why don't you explain those numbers since y'all love statistics?
Oh, I know that gets them like, oh, doy.
Mm-hmm. Just
So, what
and
is this
they
thing? What do you think is this thing? Why they always bringing up feminism? What's that about?
because they need somebody to blame. As you notice, we are the forever the scapegoat.
Hmm.
And unfortunately for us, us melanated women, we're scapegoats for pretty much damn near everyone.
Yeah, that's true. You catch it on all sides.
Mhm. We have practically no identity, but yet everybody knows what we are, but yet no one has ever actually been within our presence to find out. How do you know me, but you've never met me? You never had a conversation with me. You never been in the same room with me, but yet you know all about me? I don't
Right.
think so.
Yeah, they be knowing more about you than you do. All right, thanks. Let me get this next person, the host. What you got to say?
Hi, Deb. I just wanted to share this happened earlier this morning. I went to a gas station, paid for some gas, and so when I walked inside, the clerk, she was a lot young, kind of young black lady. So she was talking with a friend of hers, and she was extremely upset because she was telling the friend how her mother was mad at her because she wouldn't give her brother $23. And so the girl was saying, I have four brothers and myself makes five. She said, I am the only child of my mom's five kids who has not been to jail or prison. And she said, my brother does not work. She just was telling her friend, she just went down the list of all of what the brother doesn't do, but yet the mom, you know, I don't understand. I have it in my family as well. It's like a subculture epidemic. What is
Hmm.
up with a lot of these moms that baby these grown ass men? I just don't get it. Can somebody help me to understand? Because I just can't get it.
Girl,
And
I've been
I'll
trying
hang
to
up and
figure that out for
listen.
20 years. I still don't have a clue. I don't know. I do
I
not
don't
know.
know either. I just paid for my gas and I said, sweetheart, I hear what you're going through. And I just walked out. But it's just so sad. And of course, a lot of these men, these fathers of these guys, they don't stick around, and
Right.
it's just sad. And I don't. What do you? You're an expert in this area of relationships and such. Where do you think our community and our culture is going to go within the immediate future if it keeps on?
The same direction it's going now into the trash. You know, this what disturbs me so much is the the illogical thinking. Like on one
Yeah.
hand, in church and women are getting this message that men are supposed to be leaders and they need to submit to them and God put them as the head of the household and all this kind of stuff. Then you have, but the on the flip side of that are bums. They don't work. They don't be accountable. They don't want to be responsible. They don't have leadership. They can't make a decision. They can't find a way out of a paper bag with both ends open. Every time you ask them a question, they don't know nothing. They have no solutions to the problems that you put at their feet. They don't know anything. They don't decide anything. They don't build anything. They don't create anything. They don't develop anything. They don't invent anything. They don't improve anything. What they do have a masterful ability to do is destroy. So I'm looking at these parents and their sons and wondering what the hell these women are thinking and why you allow a grown man to lay up in your house, in your bed, eat up your food, and he doesn't pay any bills and doesn't even go to work. He should be on the street. I don't care if he lives in a park and drinks out of beer cans and eats out of garbage can. He needs to do something for himself. You should never support or help a grown man. And I don't understand that kind of parenting. I don't understand why the girls don't live like that. Only the boys. They make the girls get jobs, clean up, learn stuff, stay in school, stuff, but they let the boys get away with bloody murder. I don't get it. So that makes two of us.
And I'm going to add one final comment. I happen to also know several young men, excuse me, who are college graduates, and they have similar mentalities. And so it's not just, well, he has no education. Oh, he's just a thug. No, I know some dudes they're graduated college and they're still not worth the shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't get it.
I don't either, girl. And it's something, maybe something, this would be something that's on the table for us to discuss because this is so common and it is a common thread in the Black community. And it's something that definitely impacts the children and it impacts the women. So we have to think about this.
Thank you so much. Okay, bye-bye.
Good comment. She made some really, really insightful comments. Let's get you in here, Tootie. What you got to say?
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we always hear you.
Okay, so I love the show. I just want to say I am the last of 8 kids, and they're all boys. The only girl.
And you're the only girl? Wow.
And if you met me and my siblings, you would not know that I'm the youngest by the way I act. And every last one of them, I hate to say it, is they're pretty much failing in life. I have one that's doing somewhat okay, but even that took him for his 40s to get on track.
And where is he in the lineup of the kids?
He is the second oldest.
Okay.
But I say all this to say we all come from the same household, and I'm talking about my brothers, but this also includes my male cousins. All raised same household, same parents. Not same parents, same dad raises all. Some of us have different moms, but my dad raised all of us. And they all turned out irresponsible, lazy, bunch of kids they're not raising, et cetera, et cetera. I say all this to say all of the issues we talk about with these adult males, it's just about parenting as a child, because I literally watched my brothers be allowed to go play football while I had to stay at home and do chores. Or my dad would call me his secretary, and I would go with him to pay bills. And, he would show me things, this is how much money I have to put aside for this or for that. They were never required to participate in any of this. And so just that coddling behavior, that boys will be boys mentality, all of that is formed in childhood. And I feel like once you reach a certain age, there is no fixing that. I think, once your whole life or your whole childhood pretty much have not been required to be responsible for anything, you don't develop any type of sense of obligation for yourself, for your family. None of that is formulated in your youth. You're not going to just magically, as an adult, become that way unless you do a lot of hard work, right, which requires you to sit with yourself and really reflect, or therapy, things like that. And that rarely happens, especially with men. And so I just say all this to say, at some point, these parents, it just comes down to them. How are you raising your child? What are you instilling in these young boys? By the time they even reach high school, they already have no drive. Unfortunately, with girls, it's instilled in us. You know what I mean? And some of us may fall short in some areas, but that stuff is drilled in us from childhood.
No, you're right.
Yeah, and so we don't really have those excuses of I didn't know, or you had to learn how to be responsible and be able to take care of a household. They didn't have to do that for the most part.
That's this just gives me the creep.
And so it's like whenever I hear my friends now talk about dating issues and stuff, I'm like, you're really just talking about parenting. That's all this is. And so it's just, I don't know, it's just so frustrating with me because I literally watched it firsthand with all of my brothers, one by one. I mean, I'm the youngest, so they were older, but yeah. So that's all I wanted to say.
Oh, that's a fabulous comment. Thank you very much. And see, that's what I like is when, this kind of situation where people can share their own personal stories because she's not talking about what she read somewhere, saw online in a movie, in a documentary, nothing. She's talking about what happened in her own family, in her own house where she saw it every day. So, what you dudes gonna say? What you making that up? You lying? Your brothers ain't like that? Like they know her brother? So that's why I appreciate these kind of shows where people can actually participate and share their reality. So why are parents so tough on girls but still not on boys? In Essence magazine, probably about 25, 28 years ago, they did an article about that. I kept that issue for the longest time, but I've moved around so much I don't know where it is now. Probably still have it in storage somewhere, but who knows? But it was the title of it was something like, why do we raise girls and coddle boys or something like that? But it was like the cover story on Essence magazine, and they went all into the historical thing about slavery and black women trying to protect their men and sons from getting beat and limbs cut off or killed by slave masters and all this kind of stuff. And their projection sociologist was that somehow this has magically made it into our DNA or something. And so a lot of women still have that mentality. I'm like, yeah, that you really reaching. Because you know what? Just as much bad stuff, if not worse, happened to women and girls. Who was protecting them? Why you so busy worrying about these men? There's some meme going around the internet where it shows like you can tell they're slaves, and the man is like chained up or something, and the woman comes in and she's suckling him at her breast, providing him with the nourishment that should be going to her infant. This grown man. I hate that fucking picture. I hate it. But the Dusties are like, yeah, yeah, she got her brother back. She's trying to take care of her man. She this and that. I'm like, let that motherfucker die. You supposed to be worrying about that baby, not him. Because my thing is, as a grown man, that's why I like, the stories about the slave uprisings and stuff. Because, see, to me, at least those people, they went down fighting, right? They went down. It's like, okay, I might be dying, but I'm going to take a bunch of you white folks with me. I'm not dying by my damn self. Okay, I'm down with that. I love those stories because you go down fighting. You don't just sit down. And that's the problem I'm having with all of these men. They just sit down. These modern men, they don't fight about shit. They want to fight fucking women. They want to beat up kids, do horrible things to little teenage girls, abducting them and all this kind of stuff, selling them. These kind of vile motherfuckers, I don't understand what happened. Men are supposed to protect those who are younger and weaker than them, not prey on them. And it's like, kids aren't even safe in their own homes. All the stories we hear, right? About stepfathers, mamas, boyfriends doing stuff to the kids, males and female children. The kids aren't even safe in their own fucking homes. And some of these are their own actual, sperm donor fathers, not steps and all this stuff. Their own fathers doing these things to them. So I mean, it's like and then you have all these like men who are they have all these weird fetishes, and they're just have all these weird addictions and afflictions and weird understandings and stuff. It's just I think doing my advice, I'm gonna be ready to retire, y'all, in a few years. I don't know who I'm gonna pass this baton to, but it starts getting to you after a while when you hear so much sickness of people that are charged even in every religion with protecting women and children, and they don't do it. They turn it around and they attack them and prey on them. They hurt them. What the fuck is wrong with men? That is the title of this show. Okay, what the hell is wrong with y'all? They do understand it, but they only do it. They understand it when it's convenient for them to. Yeah, Dad will be retiring at some point. Should have been doing this shit 30 years now. At some point, everybody got to sit down. But it's just horrible. Oh, let me see. Let's see. Oh, we got a new person. Dosa, welcome.
Power on. Hi, can you hear me?
Mhm.
Okay. Hi, Deb. How are you?
What's up, girl?
Okay. So I want to comment specifically not on necessarily the mentality, the young mentality, but I was talking to a sergeant in Marines, and he was actually talking about how young men that are entering the Marines, that their body mass isn't even the same body mass as men, let's say 15, 20 years ago, that they're built so weak and they're not as strong. They're not even coming into the Marines or the military as strong as men once did 15 or 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like physically, they're not even capable of doing the rigorous routines that they were able to do years ago. So, we're sitting here and we're talking about men and how immature they are. I mean, when I even look, I'm 35. So, I prefer to date men that are between 30 and 35. But now it's like when I'm dating them, they're so small. And I'm
Oh, are
just like,
they?
what are you like? Their physique and everything. I'm like, I mean, did you drink milk growing up? Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, and I'm a pretty thick girl, but it's just like, I don't. And then you got the drugs and you got everything else that's playing into. It's like when I'm seeing men that are even in their 30s, 31, 32, 33, they look like they're 25. 25-year-old men look like they're 19. 19-year-old men looking like they're 16. So anyway, I just wanted to add my input on that. Like,
That is interesting because I had been reading how they were talking about the amount of testosterone in males is declining. And this is like a scientific fact. They're kind of baffled by it, but is looking at they don't do anything physical anymore. That's what muscle mass generates testosterone.
Absolutely.
So if you guys, a bunch of dudes are sitting on their butts playing video games, they're not lifting no steel. They're not running, climbing mountains and trees, and biking and doing that kind of stuff. Their bodies aren't producing as much testosterone. And I think really in my mind, they need to reinstitute the draft.
I mean, growing up and I was dating, high school, I would be able to put my boyfriend t-shirt on and it was swaddly. Now I can't even put one of my damn legs into their damn pants.
I know, girl. These men are fucking petite.
My poor thigh won't fit.
They wear size
That was all I had
medium.
to say. And you have a good night.
You too. Yeah, you got a man whose drawers are smaller than yours. I'm like, wait a minute. How does this work? Yo, shit, you petite. That's just not really working for me. Why are they dressing so feminine? Well, it's easy to dress feminine when you got curves and shit. You don't have no muscles. You got fat pad. Your booty's bigger than a woman's. I saw this dude standing. His glutes he had a from the back. He looked like a woman. Like you saw these dude because he had long dreads. So you couldn't really tell. I mean, he could have been just like a woman who lifted weights kind of thing. But then when you turn around, then you see all, so then you knew it was a dude. But from the back, the curves dude had, I was like, I was jealous of his legs. I'll tell you that. Let's get beautiful Orchard. What you got to say? Just unmute yourself. There you go.
Good evening.
Hi.
I have a few things to say, but part of what I was going to say actually piggybacks off of the last caller is that we're kind of going in, well, we are in a new age now where before men capitalized off their brute strength. They were soldiers, they worked in construction, they could use their physicality more to make money. Whereas now we're moving into an age of technology where people can make a living just off doing mental work, being on the computer, being engineers, being stuff like that. It doesn't take brute strength anymore. So that's probably part of the reason why men are physically getting smaller, because they don't need that strength anymore.
We have things called gyms. What a
This is
what a surprise and a shock. They have things called playgrounds where you could like do monkey bars, and they have things called tracks where you can run, and roads and mountains that you could climb. I'm not buying that excuse. That's an excuse.
But I
We're not
also think
accepting that.
but I also think it has a lot to do with the economy right now. Um, I feel like men are struggling to meet the standards that men before them could. Because before, one man could work and support a family, and it's not like that anymore. And I think they're kind of, when men aren't getting their way in the world, usually they come home and they kind of beat on women. So now you're getting this groups of men that are going on and like verbally abusing or talking down to women or blaming feminism on everything, when the fact is, men created society, they created the infrastructure. Worldwide we exist in a patriarchy, because so if the economy is tanking, it's not really women's fault. We don't really control the
Exactly.
economy like that. So they're mad that they're not really finding their place in the world. And because they're not finding their place in the world, they're blaming women for it because they're not achieving. And yeah, that's basically just the way I see things. And so it gets on the worst, on the far end, you have, some of these men in Asia that are kidnapping women to become their wives,
Hmm.
rape and stuff like that. And then you have, like, on our end in America, you have these people on these message boards and these, 5-letter group names, um, blaming women for everything, when the bottom line is you're not achieving.
Exactly. Well, most of them not even trying, girl. I want to address something somebody has typed in there with a screen name 78 days. We already talked about that. You must have just got here to re-listen. When you get time, listen to the front part of the video, and you will hear that discussion that you just came in and asked about all late on a late freight. We already talked about that. So, yeah, girl, I understand what you're saying, but let me just have my comeback. There are opportunities for men who avail themselves of them. The only reason, especially a white boy in America, your ass ain't achieving is because you a fucking lazy bum. Okay, you got racism on your side, you got your whiteness on your side, you have everything on your side. There's no goddamn excuse why you are sitting around talking about you don't have a job and you don't know what to do. You just a bum. Okay. Now, when you start going into the minority sector, do you have people who do have the drive and ambition, and very often they are stymied by the racism that will keep them, deny them opportunities that they really should be qualified for. But nobody who is a strong person is going to allow that to stop them. It might slow you down. It might keep you from going through door B, but you still got A, C, D, F, and K, and all these other ones that you could go through to get to where you're trying to go. It might take you a little longer. You're going to have to work a little harder. But nothing's going to stop you from getting there except you. So, with all of that said, I'm going to say that these young men who are feeling like they're so lost and confused and stuff, they have like therapy sessions, they have mentorship programs, they have counselors at schools, they have psychologists and stuff. Where there's a will, there's a way. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. Y'all can come up here and you can give all these logical, seemingly logical excuses for them, and I'm going to shoot them all down because there's no excuse. They even have free things. Like if you want to start a business, they have this organization through the Small Business Administration called SCORE, the Society of something of Retired Executives or something. These are people with 50 and 60, these people in their 80s, some of them, brain just as sharp as hell. You can go to them and they will have a consult with you for free, help you put together a business plan for free. They will counsel you on your business, on how to put your paperwork together, how to set up your business, how to manage, how to do everything that you need to do. And it's free. So what I'm saying is, where there's a will, there's a way. And there's no excuse. There's no excuse. I'm not going to accept any excuse from any man about anything that you do to fail. And you blame something on everybody else except for yourself. The person responsible for your failure is that motherfucker looking at you in the mirror. That's who's responsible. And until a man can admit that and start putting things in place to deal with that person's failure, that person's lack of accountability, that person's lack of responsibility, that person's lack of drive and ambition, and tell you, sir, do something about that person, then you're just going to continue to wallow in the mud. You're going to continue to be at the bottom. You're going to continue to fail. And it won't be nobody's fault but yours. But thank you. Let me get LK in here. LK,
Hey,
you have a comment?
hi, can you hear me?
I do.
Awesome. One story in particular that's always sticks out in my mind is I was working with somebody. I was in my mid 20s at this point. This person was in their mid 30s, and I was talking about how I wanted to move out on my own, and he was talking about how I should stay with my family because it's cheaper. And I'm like, how is it cheaper to stay with your family than, be on your own? He was talking about how he had recently moved back in with his mother because it was cheaper for him because he kept paying for takeout and laundromat, and he saved so much money by moving in with his elderly mother because she cooked and cleaned for him. And I asked him, why were you buying takeout all the time? I don't know how to cook or clean or do laundry. And I'm like, you don't even know how to make scrambled toast for yourself? I'm a decade younger than you and I know how to do that. And he just said no, and he's content having his very elderly mother take care of him. I'm also noticing that there's a role reversal going around. Like, a lot of men want to do typically feminine things, and they want women to lower the bar for them. Like, I see a lot of take me out posts, treat me posts, like lift me up posts, like even like posts where, oh, I want to be the little, like, the little spoon, just like a lot of role reversals, and they're putting the emphasis on women. Like, they know the bar is high and they can't reach it, but rather than put effort into it, they're wanting us to lower it. And I'm like, why are you looking at me?
Yeah, well, look, because that's easier. I've said this since I was a teenager that I noticed this. Men are inherently lazy beings. They will always select the route with the least resistance, whatever's the easiest. They're going to choose that path. And I haven't been proven wrong yet. So, when you have a situation like what you just described, it's easier. But what his mother's mistake was, she's supposed to say, well, yeah, you can move in here and you're going to need to pay this much in rent. And every time I do a service for you, you're going to pay me for it. So, see, she could add it to her retirement doing all them services and stuff. So he wouldn't have wanted to be back in there because it would have cost him as much or more than when he was living by himself. Make it uncomfortable for them to move back in and use you, then they won't do it. Because, he would only do that because it's easier. And she made it easier for him. Probably because she was lonely and she, wanted him around or whatever.
He also complained to me that his ex-girlfriend, who was a single mother, dumped him because, like, she was tired of having to take care of him and her child. Like, he wasn't doing nothing, he wasn't paying nothing, and she was just got fed up and left. And he's like, he doesn't understand why women don't want him.
Please. It's like having a 6 foot tall child. Like, who would want you? These dudes are just too much. Thank you, though. That was the girl eye opening. Kier, you came back.
Yes, I did. I wanted to say that these guys, they have no mental resilience.
Oh yes,
hmm
that's a big
You,
one.
you can't value what you don't understand, and whether they admit it or not, they need marriage. We don't. They need it. Look at all of them. They
Don't let
can't
they
cook.
don't understand that though. They don't. But
hmm
then they don't understand why. That's why they get so upset when women dump them and want to like stalk the woman and be mad at her for days and act a zip damn fool.
They want to get mad, but I'm like, even what, like a few years ago, that you even said it, like even a few years ago, the statistics even say that majority of men, if you're gonna have a continuous sex life for majority of men, they're going to have to get married.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than admit that they can't lead, they now want to try to turn the tide by saying it's our fault. But let's not forget, we didn't create patriarchy. We weren't the ones going around telling everybody we're the natural leader. We want to run this. You gonna have to take this L whether you like it or not, and you gonna have to admit it because I ain't doing ish for you until you do. You gonna be on
There
your
you go.
hands and knees kissing the ground I walk on before I do anything for you, before I lift the pinky, because I'm not letting it go.
Tell it,
I'm a
girl.
I will bleed you out if need to. I'm not letting it go. You're gonna take this L and you're gonna admit it. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to lead. Patriarchy was bullshit. And you need us to do your job, the job that you refuse to do and can't do. You need us to do it. Just admit it. Until then, I ain't doing shit for you because I got other things to do.
Tell it, girl. Well, I want to read you guys something that I found. A couple of things, okay? Bear with me. I'll put the link in there for you to call in again in a minute. But listen to this, okay? So this young girl writes in, I'm 22. I go to college for nursing. Okay, so she's gonna come out being a nurse. Do you know some of those traveling nurses make $100 an hour? $100 an hour. If I could stand it, I would have done that. But nah, because I make that much if I do website design and that much and more. But I'm just saying, you like if people who like to be nurses, you be a traveling nurse, you go with these things, you go around, the country, whatever, and they're making as much as $100 an hour. Okay, so you work an 8-hour shift, $800. You feeling me? Okay, so that's why a lot of men like nurses, because nurses be making some bank. So here she goes. I'm 22. I'm going to college for nursing. So I'm getting my driver's license. I also have a full-time job and I'm vaccinated. Okay, so I'm like, okay, where's she going with this? However, my boyfriend, he's also 22, stated that he is not going to college and he also doesn't want to work. He has no interest in getting a driver's license and told me that him staying with his parents until we get a place together, he also doesn't want the vaccine. We live in New York City, and since the vaccine mandate, we can't really do much together since I'm vaccinated and he's not. And I'm planning to move out of the city. But do you think this is someone I can build a life with, or is he just using me? She actually had to ask that question. Now, keep in mind, she's only 22. But were I her parent, and she would have told me that she got a boyfriend who don't have a job and he's living at his parents' house and he don't want to work and he don't have not trying to get a driver's license, so he's not trying to be independent. I would kick her ass myself and tell her, don't you ever even talk to him again or else that's the end of you. Okay? Here's another one. No, her letter's too long. Let me skip this one. Jesus. Okay. This lady says her man is 51, she's 42. They've been dating 11 months. We were celebrating my birthday at my place. My son and I spoiled him rotten. He said before bedtime and numerous times before, you treat me like a king. I wouldn't change anything. We went to bed and he started with the moves. I wasn't responding well. It was in my head about the recent weight I have gained. He asked what was wrong and I was honest and I told him it didn't end well. He was upset and angry and yelling because of my insecurities. He wasn't the man I knew for 11 months. I had come quite far before him and working on myself, but every once in a while we all get a little insecure, mainly because I felt I wasn't giving him the best of me. He ended up leaving and ending our relationship. We had an amazing 11 months together, rarely a disagreement, although we did have the one fight. We traveled, we rode his motorcycle everywhere, we did family things together. We had bonfires and parties at my place as he lives with his mom at 51. We had a great time together, but now he says I have too much baggage with my insecurities. He even said, I understand why you have insecurities, and I don't know how you've gone through life on your own, raising your son alone. But now he won't talk to me. He's taken me off his social media, however, our pictures and posts about me remain up. I'm so confused. Help me understand, she says. So here is the link if you have a comment that you want to make about the modern man. Let me get Diana. Diana, what's up, girl? You got to unmute yourself. There you go.
Hi, Deb.
Hey.
Hi, how are you? I hope you're feeling better.
I am. What's up
I'm
with
so
your voice?
glad. My asthma. Just
Oh.
my asthma because of the rain and then the pollen from the trees. It just
Oh
causes
God.
my asthma to flare up. But um yes, there's just so many problems with the modern, like regular everyday men. It's just problematic. I went to the store on Friday and there were these black men outside Safeway. As soon as I got out of my car, they're running up to me, jumping up and down, asking for money. I'm like, I'm not giving you no money. I said, no, nigga, no. Do I look like an ATM to you?
Did you say it with my accent, girl? No, nigga, no.
No, I sung it. No, nigga, no. And went right in the store. And then they
Slide
tried to
on
ask
in.
when I came back out. I was like, nigga, didn't I just tell you no? Just always begging
Always.
and acting like everybody. The thing with black men that irritate me is that they think that every black woman in existence owes them something simply for existing. I have a problem with that. I can't deal with that. I refuse to deal with that, and neither should anybody else. They're going to
I agree.
remain behind all other races of men because they refuse to get themselves together. Like, period. Like, you see how Goldman Sachs put all that money for black women to get loans to start businesses, and black men somehow think that they're entitled to that money? Because I saw your post the other day about the money in Georgia for
Yeah, I
the
was going
mom.
to talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, you got Dusties. Now they trying to identify as black women to get said money. Now ain't that about nothing?
I wouldn't
Oh
put it past
yes.
them. I would
It's
not put
just
it past them.
terrible. I'm just like, y'all don't want to do nothing but think y'all supposed to have all the submission and booty in the world. No, 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 no. Can you just go like in a sewer and like just drop dead and just leave the rest of us alone?
That would be fabulous.
Wouldn't it though? But so that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Angelica, that's what I was going to talk about. I posted a link to an article about a pilot program that's going to be taking place in Georgia, and for it's a 2-year program, 24 months, and they selected women that are, at the poverty level, primarily below the poverty level. Okay, and they're going to give them $850 a week, I mean a month, for um, the 2 years, duration of the program. And so people, the first thing I saw up on the wall, some man came talking about, some white dude talking about black privilege. Motherfucker, what what is somebody living at the below poverty line? Where's their privilege? You monkey motherfucker. Okay, now that's to him. For the rest of them, I all heard a bunch of negativity. Well, all they gonna do is just fuck it up. They gonna do this, that, and you don't know shit about what these people are gonna do. Just because that may have happened in the location where you live, or that might possibly happen in some cases. Some of these women will probably get beaten and their money taken because they have in a situation where they have that kind of person in their life. It doesn't mean it's their man. It could be a brother. It could be their own father. You don't know who, but this is a reality that happens. Their money gets taken. Their food stamps sometimes get taken. Sometimes, their property out of their homes, their TVs, computers gets taken and sold. Some women are in a very vulnerable and high risk situation, trying to do the best they can. And when on this channel, though, but I want to remind everybody, on this channel, our job here is to lift black women up. Okay, I did not like the shit I saw on the wall today. A bunch of negative bitch shit. I did not appreciate it, and I waited till now because I wanted to say it because I want everybody to hear it at the same time. Don't post shit like that on my wall. Even if you think it, you post it somewhere else. If you think it, you keep it to your damn self. The whole idea here is I'm sharing information with you about a situation that's going to help some sisters do better for them and them kids. Okay? It's all coming all the way. They just gonna this, they just gonna that. You don't fucking know shit. You don't know nothing. Okay, you don't know the people. They don't even have you decide who's gonna have the money yet. We don't know what the criteria is for them to have it. We know nothing other than what this article said. But yet y'all sitting in judgment, pointing fingers and condemning people, sitting on your ass. I don't see you writing no check for no $850. Okay, but it was just full of negativity. That was some shit I did not appreciate, and I want everybody to understand. Don't post shit like that on my channel ever again. Now, $850 shit here in the Bay Area, that's like 25% of your rent. Okay, and these women are trying to live that and have, get their kids. Okay, it's winter fucking time in Georgia. Okay, snow and shit. Okay, warm coats for your kids, maybe that's growing. Maybe they don't have a coat that really fits them. Boots that they can go outside in the snow in and make it to school. Did anybody ever think about the cost of that kind of stuff? And sometimes these women have to depend on agencies or hand-me-downs and stuff. The shoes all krilled over, the fur inside is all worn out, but it's the best they could do for the kids. Now they can get them some new shit. Did you ever think of that? These are people living below the fucking poverty line, which for the country is what, 11,000 something income? Shit, I could spend that much in a month. That's nothing. $850? I spent $200 on groceries for me. And I'm one person. So I'm looking at, the people railing about this, like these women, they should be starting businesses and they should be doing, how you going to do that and you living below the poverty line? The thinking that I saw on the wall today was very disappointing, ladies. Disappointing and dismaying. Now, if you're going to take your happy ass to Georgia and you're going to volunteer some time and energy to train these women to do all this kind of stuff, well, then that's another thing. But you sitting up here talking about what people going to do with $850 a month, that ain't shit. To be trying to build an empire and all these fantabulous fantasies that you was putting up there. I was disgusted. I just want to say, okay? Now that I've said all that, let us move on. Because I purposely did not put all that stuff on the wall because I wanted to say it. I wanted to be able to see my face and hear my voice and the inflections and the tonal qualities of my disgust with them comments. Okay, we don't do that shit here. You don't have nothing positive to say about a black woman, then shut your mouth. That's all I got to say. Now, let me move on and talk about what kind of things are not manly. Created a list. Ooh, this is long. I kept typing. What kind of things are not manly? Let's talk at the start at the bottom. There's the link. This is supposed to be a safe place for sisters to be. A safe place. You could get bitch shit on any one of these niggas channels. You could get condemnation on any of those channels. You could get railings and negativity about black women anywhere fucking else on the internet. The place we not gonna have it is on this channel. Now I want to just reiterate that. So I don't ever have to see the shit that I saw today ever again. I'm just not gonna tolerate that nonsense. I'm just like, really, $850 fucking dollars? I mean, if you don't have it, you know what I mean? This can make a difference, like I said, in the lives of many women and their children who are living below the federal poverty line. This could be something where they actually get to breathe for a second. Maybe they can actually not have to work the second part-time job and they get to actually spend some time with their kids, helping them with their homework, cooking, singing with them, going to church, whatever people want to do. They don't have to be away from their kids so much because they'll have a little bit of a cushion. Don't you think that's a benefit and a blessing? Why you got to talk all that nasty shit about them? And you don't, like I said, they haven't even selected the people yet. So you don't know who's going to get the money. But you already got your mind all fixed that they just going to be a fuck up. You back, beautiful Orchid?
Yes. Wearing makeup and getting their eyebrows done and nail polish.
Yeah, well, that's the kind of shit people are saying. But it's like, people got kids. They trying to buy their kids some clothes and shoes and food. Catch up on their rent. Stuff like that. I just thought it was ridiculous. But anyway, let me do on this list here. I'm gonna start from the back page. These are Deb's list of things that things that are not manly. Men who complain that they need help all the time. Men who complain about being expected to be a provider. I've read some that say that they can't do it by themselves. They need their wife to work, their girlfriend to chip in and pay half. Men who insist on being asked out and picked up like a woman. Men who create excuses instead of executing solutions. Liars, cheaters, heartbreakers, and deceivers. You say my dusty cousin. Always creating drama, chaos, and confusion with gossip and nonsense like a little bitch. Talk negatively about their child's mother after picking her. Because I'll be quick to remind them, well, you picked her, right? Just like you guys telling us. Well, you picked him? Oh, let's flip that back on you. So did you. Pretends to be something that he isn't to manipulate women. Typical narcissistic move. The kind of men who are not manly are men who are abusive. That includes emotional abuse, physical abuse, financial abuse, all them abuses. Because you're not standing on yourself, you're trying to prey on somebody. They're whiny and negative. Those kind of guys are a turnoff. Then they wonder why no woman wants to sleep with them. Do you know that whining and crying like a little bitch is not sexy? Not in any woman's world. Going back and forth with women on social media. That's a bitch move. That's also not sexy. Men who can't keep a job or won't look for a job. You get a job, then you quit the job, or you get fired from the job all the time because you have to show up. You show up late. Irresponsible and stupid. Men who are lazy, don't have no ambition, no drive, no desire to be better, do more, achieve dreams. Nothing. Some of them don't even have any dreams. They claim their feelings are hurt because a woman told them no. Men who fail to keep the promises that they make. If you can't be a man of your word, then who are you? What are you? Why are you even breathing? Men who think they are the prize. Men who worry about what women wear. Men who have petty little bitchy mouths and thoughts, like little catty, little, just. Men that insist that a woman chase after them. Men who are inconsistent and wishy-washy. You can't never depend on anything that they say because they just flip-flop all the time. Convicts and felons. You too stupid to even do some shit and not get caught. Okay, what good are you? They blame men who blame their failures on feminism. So it's in their mind, because a woman wants to be equal in society and political power and stuff like that, salary, that somehow that's hurting them. They long for the days before feminism existed when women, quote, knew their place. Men who insist on women being submissive. Men who live off of women. Just go homosexual. Go from woman to house, woman to house, woman to house, woman to house. Men who are unfaithful and disloyal. Men who think women should pay half or for him, for the whole day. Men who are addicted to anything. Because to me, addiction demonstrates mental and character weakness. So that's your woman right there. That's your goal right there. Okay, you can't do shit from me. Oh, the sense of men with a sense of entitlement. Actually, I don't know if I put that, but that's a good one to add. Men who are insecure about anything. Men who are not resilient. They don't bounce back. These are men who are like 57 years old, still talking about the girl who turned them down for the dance when they were 16. They still haven't gotten over it. Men who got a divorce and 20 years later, they still talking about it. Okay. Men who are arrogant for no reason at all. It's like, it ain't shit about you that you need to be arrogant about, clown. You just basic. Men who are broke. Men who lack self-control. They fly off the handle. They ramble out with their fists. They're always angry about something. Flying off the handle with their mouths, or, some violence, want to shoot people, all this kind of crazy stuff. No self-control. Manhood is about having that kind of self-control, self-regulation. Men who expect to be taken care of like a child. They want their woman to serve them, cook for them, clean up after them. Men who expect women to fix their problems and save them pretty much from themselves. Anybody who, them hoteps, them kind, my queen, bullshit artists. Men who are disrespectful to women. Adult men who catcall women and little girls on the street, treating them like pieces of meat. You being abusive to a child, you fucking asshole. Men who want to be women, you want to be wooed and courted. They act all indecisive and flaky, and they want to be financially dependent. They had tried, somebody pointed out earlier, flip the script, like trying to be, play the girl role. They want to be the girl in the relationship. Men that have no direction or plans for their lives, they basically live like a college frat boy and they're in their 40s. They still living like that. Anybody who is a deadbeat parent, deadbeat dad, you're no good. You're a no good kind of man. And my last one is men who go after teens or women that are far younger than them. They have arrested development and they're a predator and they're trying to, get a hold of somebody who won't challenge them like a woman of their own level would. Let me get a couple of calls in here. Let's start with Angelica. You're a new caller. What's up, girl? What's up, Pickles?
Hey, um, hey, you knocked it out the park. You hit the nail on the head. You covered most of what I was going to say. More specifically, them thinking they're the prize. They want you to audition to be like for some type of commitment. And I was just recently dealing with that because I'm back on the dating scene, and this person lives about an hour away from me, and they asked me out, but then I'm like, okay, so what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Oh, I don't know. It's up to you. And then they play games and play games and play games. And then they expect me to travel to them. And it's just like, I'm not doing any of that. Like, I'm not doing any of that. Like, as if you're some type of prize to be won. I'm not auditioning for you. I'm not going to be the one that constantly reaches out to you. I'm not going to chase you like you're the woman. And especially since this person is what, most Black men would consider themselves a quote high value man because he has a decent 6-figure job and he doesn't have children. Like, I don't know. For me, that's just the bare minimum, and I'm still not going to chase you because he has titties bigger than mine. So you know what?
Get the hell out of here.
We're just not dealing with that. I just can't. Like,
hey, dude, you wearing a
I don't
B cup.
understand.
Get out of here.
Yeah. So that especially the addiction part, because that shows like a lack of self-control and mental strength. And the last one, I witnessed this from somebody else. This didn't happen to me, but a guy that allows any other person, male or female, to disrespect their lady
Oh, girl,
or
yes. Why
their
did I
female
forget
family
that one?
member.
Good one.
Yeah. That just sit up and kind of like crawl behind somebody's skirt. Like, yeah, that's really feminine behavior. But that's all I got.
No, those are good ones. Thank you. Thanks,
You
Angelica.
welcome.
I just like to call her Pickles. Okay, Ms. Manda, you're on now. You got to unmute yourself.
Hey,
What's up?
how you doing? Yeah, okay. So I was thinking, I was like, when I was 33, because I'm 34 now, I was talking to this older guy. He was like 45 years old. And because we had just started talking and stuff like that, I asked him, what kind of stuff does he watch on Netflix or any of the other streaming devices? And I asked him if he can recommend something for me to watch, right? And he said, this show called Good Girls. Because, I told him that I wanted something to watch, like maybe something, mystery, a thriller, suspenseful, things like that. And he recommended this show called Good Girls. Now, I like it, but it wasn't a show that I would have expected that he would have recommended for me to watch because it's like a chick flick, and he said that he's been watching the show. He's on the second season, and I just really didn't understand it. Seriously.
Oh,
Yeah, so that was something else, and he took me to a little shindig that his brother was having, and I was sitting at the table with him as he was playing spades, right? I wasn't playing; I just was watching him and stuff like that, listening to the music and whatnot, and somebody had came in, like some guy had come in, like some flyby guy, and he was like smoking and drinking. And I'm just sitting there looking nice and whatnot. And I guess I was his new face. So he came up there and he was trying to talk to me and stuff like that. And he kept on bothering with me. And my dude, he's like sitting right there, and I'm just waiting for him to, say something and check this dude. And he never did. He just never did. He just looked at me, and he didn't say a word to the man that kept on trying to talk to me. And I felt I I found that really odd and awkward. Like, was he scared? Was he nervous? I just didn't understand it. And it just set the tone really, really awkward for me, So that's it.
Oh gosh, ooh, you gross. Ew.
Bye, girl.
Damn. Thank you. Okay, beautiful Orchid, you have something else to add? Oh,
I don't know if it was confusing or not, but I was talking when my last comment, I was talking about men because I've ran into men when I was out at the store with their nails done and their eyebrows done and their makeup done. And I just find it
men with
so.
makeup on?
Yes, that's what I was talking about. I was talking about men. I don't know if you thought I was talking about the $850
Yeah,
women or
because
something.
I was just finishing up that.
Yeah,
So yeah, I didn't make
I
the
was
connection.
talking about men wearing makeup and
Girl.
getting their eyebrows done. And I'm like at Target, and there was like a couple of guys I ran into at Target with their nails done.
No. That's a just no. So what did you say when you saw that?
I didn't say anything. I actually tried to sneak a picture, but it was blurry, but I couldn't get it inconspicuously.
Girl.
Yeah. So
Okay, well, I'm glad you clarified that because, yeah, you're right. That is because I was just, it just dovetailed into what I was just finishing up to. So I thought you were talking about
yeah,
that.
so I
Okay.
wanted to clarify that. And
Okay. Well,
like the
thank
whole
you.
makeup thing is getting even bigger, especially with this like whole K-pop thing coming over here. And there's like even more men wearing makeup because I guess it's like really big in Asia. It's like a lot of men wearing makeup, and now I
Yeah,
feel
but I
like
mean, they've always done that. Think about Rick James. I mean, in its entertainment, and Prince. This is something from the 80s. This is not anything really new.
yeah, but at
But it's
least
like
then
those are
it was for
entertainers.
yeah, they were entertainers and they were on the stage, but now I feel
Right.
like it's transferring to like regular life with a good guys wearing makeup, and that's kind of disturbing. Because I don't even
Ugh.
wear makeup every day, so I
Yeah,
can't.
me either. Oh, gross. Well, thank you. Let's see. We got Nita's husband. We know who. What's up, Kelson?
Hey, what's going on with
Trying to
Heartbeat?
sneak in here with a fake name. I knew it was you.
How you doing this evening?
I'm fine.
That's good to hear. I'm here with a twisted ankle. My little girl is sick, and Nita and the boys are out somewhere, and who knows where they are. So it's just me and my little girl. Hey, she got some kind of bug, so she's throwing up and then snuggling on me, then throwing up. So
Okay, that's TMI.
yeah. Well, sorry.
So, what you have to say about modern manhood?
Well, as an older guy now, I'm out of the game. Like I said, I'm strictly 100% husband and parent and daddy now. Like the last caller just said, these dudes wearing makeup. Man, if you ain't got a guitar and you ain't on stage, you just shouldn't have no makeup, no eyeliner, no fingernail polish on.
For
You
real.
you're not an entertainer. And for the people who always talk about Prince would fight people if they asked about his sexuality. Him and
Well, no,
Elder
I know,
Barge.
but I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just saying that when that's who I used to see wearing makeup.
Yeah,
And you think
guys.
about the dudes in Kiss. They
Yeah,
all
guys.
wore some really strange makeup, right?
Yeah,
That
those are
Scarface and all that.
entertainers. They're
Yeah,
guys on stage getting paid to play music.
exactly.
And
Millions.
yeah, they will fight you. That's what people don't understand. El DeBarge slapped several people, dudes, who questioned his sexuality because you remember he had that long
Hmm.
shag for a long time, and a couple of dudes thought that they could roll up on him because they thought he was soft. Of course, once their jaws got jacked, well, that nigga crazy. He real sensitive, man. You can't just ask him about stuff. How about you stop rolling up on people with your bullshit questionnaires and stuff, man? But yeah, Deb, it's crazy out here, man. I feel for y'all, man. Like I said, I got a little girl. My wife is pregnant now. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. One of my aunts said she thinks it's gonna be twins, but this time it's gonna be twin girls. I already got twin boys. I can't take it. If
Yeah,
yeah,
dude,
some of these dusties out here, I'm gonna be in jail.
I
I can't
understand. I
I,
understand.
I can't take it, man. I don't see how y'all do it, man.
Just call me. I'll ride with you.
I appreciate that, Miss
Yeah.
Hartman. I need somebody on the
I'm
West
next to
Coast.
smoking, dude.
I need somebody in the West Coast, man, that knows how to handle a Roscoe. That's what I need, man. Ride and die. That's what I need. But I feel for y'all, ladies. I feel for y'all because one, you get these men this sense of entitlement, and I don't know where it comes from. And when you try to correct them, I mean, even when you do it as gently as possible, man. I mean, it's just like I don't know. I don't know how to say it. It's like you have to treat them like children, and like I said, it's just as frustrating and I, like I said, it's frustrating as hell.
Yeah, see, I don't have time. That's why I just be slicing and dicing folks and just leaving them as roadkill.
Well, see, Miss
Just leave
Hartman,
them to bleed out.
you got that Cali ruthlessness. You know, some of us in the South, you know, we still like to hand people, you know, like hey y'all, good evening, baby, that kind of stuff. We can still kind of friendly.
I
I,
know.
I only use the hot grits when the people deserve it. I only
Stupid.
I just can't just be randomly spraying hot grits on people just because, man. But I'm gonna sign off here, but I'm gonna continue to listen because like it looks like my little girl is getting up again. I have to go see
Okay, bye.
what's going on. All right, y'all ladies, take care now.
Okay, bye. Yeah, we got to get him off before we start hearing sounds. I don't like them kind of sound effects. Yeah, I'll be on the first thing smoking. I'll be down there. It's like, come on, who we beating up today? I've been frustrated. I want to beat up somebody. Um, okay, let me go tell you. This is an example of what I was saying about how the guys that I saw online that seem to be so directionless. And this is just one example of the kind of stuff I saw. This dude is 33. He says, I've tried multiple paths and pursuits, but I've never seen anything through due to a complete loss of interest. I'm sitting on 2 associate degrees. Okay, no BA, 2 AAs. 150 units for nothing, essentially. I've never actually worked a 9 to 5 job in my life. I was recently left again. A very successful woman left me for a much, much more successful man. This has happened to me twice in my life now. These events have scarred me. The feeling of inadequacy felt on a daily basis for not, quote, knowing who I am or what I am doing with my life, end quote, is multiplied exponentially post breakup. Have never found something that actually calls to me for a job or career. Okay, thanks, skeptical. Have overspent money in so many reckless ways. The entirety of my life is being a bartender. It's a job that has constantly saved me from all the stupid life choices, and it pays incredibly well for someone without any real education, but at the same time, it feels like a trap. I've been at war internally with this for a very, very long time. Okay, man. I'm seeing a therapist, but it's not helping because he need to see me. He's seeing somebody who's going, oh, well, what do you think you should do? Well, why do you think that? That therapist drivel where they just keep you coming for years and years so they can milk your bank account. Whereas I get in there, I usually counsel my people for 2, maybe the maximum is 5 times that I've ever done. And most usually people it's 2 to 3. And they get it and they go on and do what they need to do. But this kind of stuff here, what you mean it's not working? I would have my foot so knee deep up in his ass, up to the knee, in his ass, walking around wearing him like a shoe. That's how deep my foot would be up his ass. So this kind of stuff, you can be 33 years old and you still pitching around and you don't know what the fuck you doing. And he's worried about it costing him a relationship. Motherfucker, get you finish a degree and get you a real job. How can you never have had a 9 to 5 job in your entire life and you're 33 years old? So, and he hasn't finished anything. So his whole life is just like living like a temp job. He's a temporary assignment in his own life. What kind of parenting did he have that he was allowed to grow up and live this kind of lifestyle? This is a big no. Okay. Oh, here's a letter about the cake I was talking about when I finally found it. Okay, then this young lady says, okay, now this is a problem we have, right? Where they talk about why they a baby daddy and they don't understand it. Here's this lady says, how do I tell a guy that condoms are non-negotiable? She says, I hooked up with this dude. She's 18, he's 21, twice. And it was good, but the second time he really complained about wearing the, Jimmy hat. About halfway through, he stopped and said that the Jimmy hat slipped off. So I disengaged immediately. It doesn't feel like he took it off on purpose, but I think he thought I would just say it was fine. I'm not worried about STDs because we both got screened recently, but I don't use any other form of contraception, but I shouldn't have to. I want to text him about it, but I don't know what to say. You know what you say? I'm not fucking with you anymore. That's what you say. Why is this even a question? You set a boundary that this is what has to happen, and he's fighting you on it. See, you don't even argue with somebody about something like this. I say you're gonna wear it. She shouldn't even have to say it. He should be willingly doing it. But the fact that she has to argue with him about it, about something that could save her very life. You see what I mean? See, the young ladies listening to this, this is not anything that you have a conversation about. You say it, this is the rule, this is it, the end. Okay? And anything that he says about no, maybe, possibly, let's maybe try something, anything at all, you get up, you put your shit on, and you go home. And you never, ever, ever fuck with him again. That's the kind of motherfucker that will give you some kind of disease or it'll get you pregnant, and then you're going to have to figure out what to do about it. Even though you could go run and get the after pill and all this kind of stuff, it's still going to be an impact on your body from all the extra hormones or you having to get a termination. It's on you then because he didn't respect what you said that you wanted to do to protect yourself. So you don't have a partner like that. That's somebody who doesn't want to be accountable. And these are the same dudes to be online later talking about, well, she should have been used. She should have made me wear it then. That's what they say. So you don't fall for the trap. Okay? You don't fall for that. Because we've heard that. We've seen that. She should have made me wear it then. They want to put the responsibility for them being a dad and being stuck with 18 years of child support and having to be a parent on you. When they 99% of the time, it's this kind of shit right here, where they want to dib and dab without one or take it, slide it off and all this kind of stuff and play Russian roulette and then be acting all brand new with the Pikachu face when a baby comes out the situation. Knuckleheads. Yeah, it's a setup. That's why I'm telling these young girls be so stupid. They be like, wanting to please the man and all this kind of stuff. You tell him I'm not fucking with you. There's too many other dudes I could do it with that don't mind wearing a condom. You ain't one of them. Then fuck you. Get out of here. I'm not doing shit with you. That would be how you're supposed to live this. And here's another one. This guy, he says, lately I've been feeling a sense of what the fuck am I doing with my life that many of us go through. I've never gone through that. I feel like a lot of the posts here mirror this, and I'm not sure what I'm really looking for. Maybe consolation, maybe advice. You big fucking baby. My situation isn't atypical. I have a wonderful wife, an okay job, a roof over my head, food on the table, friends, family, and I think perhaps I have too much time on my hands and so too much time to think. Also, my job isn't exciting. It's a boring desk job where career advancement is available but nothing to write home about. I feel as though I'm losing motivation. I don't have many goals to challenge me. I'm just going through day by day, weekend by weekend, doing the same old thing. I feel as though I've accomplished most of my major milestones that were important to me, getting married, getting a stable job, buying a home. But now I'm just filling my time with useless time suckers like TV, video games, and even the gym. At 35, this is the best he can do. And he's like, there's advancement available, but nothing right home. Okay, so you can't go back to school and switch careers or apply to a different job that has more advancement there. Work on your resume. You can't do. You have too much time on your head. You don't have no hobbies that you could take up. No interest. Join the sports team now that things are opening back up. You got a vaccination, right? They're gonna be playing sports, the basketball, baseball in the spring. You bowling leagues, you can't do nothing. You just have to sit around and have a pity party. See, this is the kind of stuff. If I had a husband who was like this, I would probably pick up a pot and bop him upside the head with it repeatedly until there was blood everywhere, because I would be so disgusted that he was acting like this. You're supposed to be the man. You're supposed to be the father. You're supposed to be the example that our kids can look up to of manhood. And this is what you do. This is what you sit around thinking. This is the best you got. I would be disgusted that I had married you. I'd be so disgusted. Yes, it is Bob o'clock. But you see what I mean? This is the kind of stuff that we're talking about. And as women, you're looking for a man who has his shit together. This guy was just going along with some vague script or something. I don't know what he was talking. I did the things I was supposed to do. Get married, have a kid, buy a house. That's the best you got. You didn't think any more creatively about your life than that. Nothing about what brings you joy. Just some vague script about what you quote supposed to do. Honey, I got tough love enough for 60 people. That's one thing I'm not going to have is no men around me acting like a wuss. We're not going to have that. This lady writes, "Hey, Deb, I want to get your take on this and any from the squad. My husband told a joke to my guy friend in front of me." Listen to this, y'all, and y'all share your thoughts, or if you want to call in, let me put the link here if you want to call and share your thoughts. And this is a real letter. This came in earlier today. And she didn't put it on the form, so it didn't go into Candace's folder. It just was in the general folder, which I look at. So I saw it. And she, it was an email. It wasn't like a advice letter. And but I told her I would put it on the show tonight. So here it is. So let me start from the beginning again. I forgot what I was saying now. Okay, I want to get your take on this and any from the squad. My husband told a joke to my guy friend in front of me. The joke was, what kind of animals are on a pair of pantyhose or in a pair of pantyhose? What kind of animal is in a pair of pantyhose? Okay. The answer was 2 calves, a beaver, an ass, and a fish you can't find. This is her, I want to reiterate, this is her husband telling this joke to a male friend of the wife. She says, I was pissed and I told him it was degrading and disrespectful. I still can't get over this. It bothers me. I really need to come back and to mirror this kind of act. Thank you for any kind of input. Hopefully, I'm not being stupid if it was a joke, but no, I don't think so. Nope. This is, girl, you good because I'm telling you, I would have been. Let me think. What can I think of that's rude? Let me see what Pickles got to say. She's got a sharp tongue. What you got to say, Pickles?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All
Yeah.
right, all right. Something that you said just reminded me of something. You've talked about this before, stealthing. I feel like men that are trying to trap women in pregnancy, that's very feminine behavior. There's a lot of guys around here that think pulling up a gold foil, the Magnum, and they don't have Magnum peen. I don't
Girl,
know
that shit
how
will slide off.
it's happened to me before. It's awful, and I'm just like, if you're so ego-centered that you think that it's going to play some type of Jedi mind trick on me, that I think that you have something that's going to fit this condom when it obviously doesn't. I can clearly see that the eggplant does not fit the rubber. But regardless, I think trying to trap a woman with a baby is absolutely feminine behavior. And it happens a lot more often than young women think. I wish people told me this growing up. I thought it was always the other way around because I was beat over the head being told that women only trap men, but a lot of men like to trap women. A lot of women don't realize how fly and beautiful they are. And, especially if they have potential and they're going places, men will try to trap you. They
Yep.
they
I
they
wrote an
don't want
article
to get
about
their
that. It's
man.
on surviving dating. It's
Yep,
called
yep.
Baby Mama something. But yeah,
Yes.
my dad told
I've
me
heard it
about
come from
that.
a guy's. Yeah, I've heard it from a guy's mouth too. They're like, "Oh, well, I'm just gonna have to get you pregnant, before
Mhm.
you get this job promotion or whatever, so you won't ever have to leave me." And instead of getting their masculinity up, they figure, "Let me just ruin your life." Now, I'm not going to be there for you or the baby, but I'll absolutely be there to ruin your life and give you a daily reminder of what I did, so that you can never reach the fuller potential that I think you can, even though we usually do anyway. But that's all I had to add.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, she's right. The article is called The Baby Mama Okie Doke. And I wrote it, I don't know, like the late 90s. It's been on my blog, several different blogs, and now it's on Surviving Dating. It originally started off on Ask Heartbeat, but I moved it, because I split the two, like more adult topics on surviving dating and the more juvenile stuff is on Ask Heartbeat. So I moved it. But it talks about that, about, how the guys will see a young lady that has promise in the future. And it happens a lot of young girls in college. They just want to just fuck her up. They don't want anybody else to have her. They want to make, clip her wings or tie her down and saddle her with a baby and all that responsibility and obligation. And they feel like because she comes from a family of money or means that he'll always have a place to stay if he comes back with that, let's be a family shit. And young girls, not knowing any difference, having not been raised with a street smart father like I had, don't know the game. And so they get caught up. It's really sad. Oh, my phone is ringing back there. So let's see, let's finish up with her letter. So her husband says this. In this particular instance, you don't have to mirror it because this was your male friend. So the dynamic in this situation is a little bit different. So what you want to do is first have a conversation with your friend and ask him what he thought about that joke. Okay, this is your friend, right? So you should be able to have this conversation with him. What did you think about that? And then you ask him why he responded the way he did. Now, you don't say how he responded, so whether he laughed, you want to know that, or whether he said, oh man, that wasn't cool. I mean, or did he not say anything? Whatever his response is, you still want to know why did he chose to respond the way that he did. Okay, then that's going to give you the information that you need to go back to your husband. And you say, you fucking asshole. And I don't know if you cuss at your husband. If you have never had before, this is going to be the first time that you do. You need to come hard on him with this bullshit. Now, you monkey motherfucker, don't you ever fix your nigger lips to talk to me like that. I don't know who the fuck you thought you was talking to or about, but nigga, you do some shit like that again, this marriage is over. I'm putting you on notice right now. One thing you are not gonna do is make me the laughing stock of any kind of rude, fucked up jokes. The only one laughing in the whole room was you because your comedian skills is just very lacking. Okay? Stick to your fucking day job where you bring home a paycheck because you are not a comedian. You do it. Keep in mind, you better say nice shit about me. You say anything fucked up to me, about me, or to me ever again, and this shit is over. Because I'm not taking it. Now, that's what I'm saying. If you need to listen to this and you need to practice in the privacy of your car or something, but by the time you talk to your male friend and then you approach your husband with this, you need to come harder than you have ever come before. This is some shit you have to shut all the fuck the way down. I am still in shock that your husband had the unmitigated gall to say some rude, tawdry, trashy street shit joke like this about you to your friend. That nigga lost his mind. And I would tell him that he did too. So, I'm telling you, you ask for there's certain things as a woman you have to go outside of yourself to address. I don't care if you the kind that goes to church every Sunday and ice cream barely melts in your mouth because you're so sweet. You better jump in, channel your inner Deb on this shit. Because this nigga went, okay, here's the top. He's over there somewhere with his shit. I can't even imagine in what world he thought this was okay. And that's why I need to tell you, you need to, oh, is she here? Well, okay, yeah, she probably is. Actually, she said she was going to try to listen, but try doesn't mean that she is. But even if she didn't, she could, hear it later. But I'm telling you, girlfriend, you got to go outside of yourself. You're going to have to do one of them Wonder Woman turns and turn into somebody else and blow his fucking hair back. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Keith. What man talks about his wife like this? Who does this? That's why I feel quite okay with her cussing him smooth the fuck out. That's what he needs. That's what he deserves. But he needs to understand how bad he messed up that his marriage is on the line. Because, girlfriend, this is emotional abuse. You might not see it that way, but that's what this is. The feelings that you have right now, that feeling of being small, degraded, hurt, mistreated, talked about like you have a tail. All those kind of negative emotions that this quote joke made you feel as his wife, to betrayed, confused, all of those things. That is emotional abuse. And he did that shit on purpose. And he chose to do it in front of someone who admires and respects you and loves you because he's your friend. He wanted to hurt you. And he wanted to do it by hurting your friend too. He thinks he's slick. I'm telling you, I would cuss this motherfucker out. We don't know any of what he hates and all of that. What we do know is he wanted, for some reason, he wanted to try to, exert his authority over your male friend. And, like he's so superior that he can talk about you like that. And it's not nothing you can do about it. See, like my brothers with one of their female friends had done it, they would have dude in the mouth. They would have been boxing. Let's see what you got to say, Diana.
I would have divorced. He would be getting a divorce. You can't come back from that. Because I'm just like, when you start talking about whistling somebody's pantyhose, you're talking about female genital parts and stuff.
Somebody,
and just his wife in front of everybody, though. And it's just like, what's wrong with you? Like, how you thought that was appropriate or funny? We would be getting a divorce, and you would be moving in with your mama, and you would be paying child support and spousal support, and it would be over. But I also wanted to make a comment about the stealthing, just because I don't think some people know, but I know in California, stealthing is now a crime. I don't know if it's like that in other states. And if it isn't, I think women should definitely be talking to the politicians and the lawmakers in their counties and states on making stealthing a crime. Because now, if you stealth, you can be prosecuted because they treat it like it's rape. And I think the man can be held financially responsible and civilly liable and criminally for stealthing and taking off condoms during sex.
Yeah.
And it's not consensual because it functions as rape.
The act, but not
the
for
R
that
word.
part. Right.
Yeah. So that was it. Okay. But yeah, she needs to divorce him now. He doesn't even get a second, third, or fourth chance because you just don't do what he just did. That's total disrespect, period. There's no coming back from that because those people are going to remember what he said. Because if you're saying that in front of them, what are you saying when she's not around you?
I'm telling you, this.
He would be fired immediately. Like, don't come home.
Yes,
go find
Keith,
a shelter.
I'm just responding. Thanks, D. Keith, I'm responding to your question. What he was talking about his wife. The answer is yes, his wife. He said that this quote sick joke about women, alluding to his wife in front of people. Yeah. Creepo. Let's see. I'm gonna put the link here one more time for those who want to share their thoughts on the show. There's the link right there. I have another letter I want to read here. This is about a male friend too. Long story short, my male friend again told me my friend told me that he was upset the way I disrespected him by not calling him back. Ultimately, he said I had hurt his feelings and showed him disrespect and negligence. This friend is a big-time people reader, meaning he spends a lot of time deciphering people. He's a salesman. He's in his 50s. I'm in my 30s. He tells me he spends a lot of time deciphering my words and actions that he knows what I'm all about. Here's why I'm confused. He'll do nice things for me and be attentive. He's helped me out. He praises my good qualities. But on occasion, he'll tell me my negative qualities and how he's not dumb to them. He told me that I came into his life so that I could use his resources and leave once I'm done. He also said he knows I'm selfish. Here's the thing, even though I do use him for one particular thing, I reimburse him and tell him I can do more if that's what he'd like. I never ask for more. He never asks for more, and I always thank him. When he said I've been using him for his resources, I tried to lighten it a bit by saying, oh, come on. I've come into your life to help you too, though, right? To which he replied, what have you really helped me with? Hanging out and talking? He says He's been burned in the past by his ex, who basically drained him of money, tuition, rent, utilities, bills, vacations, etc. He also said I have many similarities to his ex. If I do, I'm not in a relationship with him, nor do I ask him to pay my tuition, rent, etc. But I made it clear I'm not interested in him, and I do pay for the services he's offering to me. I'm just at a loss of word for how he acts. Girl, this is another motherfucker that need to get cussed out. Cussed out. You know, it's like he starts talking about what some other bitch said. You know, it's like, well, so what? You picked her. So what you whining to me about the shit for? You in your 50s and you whining like a little bitch. Don't nobody want to hear all that. I don't give a fuck what some other bitch did to you. Why do you think I care? See, that's what he would get from me. Or he would start whining about, I say, well, good, too bad she didn't do double. Then you would really have something to talk about. But whatever it is, I don't feel like hearing it because you whine too much to be as old as you are. You act like a 2-year-old. And you know that you're using him or something. Say, I haven't used you yet, but now that you reminded me, I need to get busy on that. You know, just say anything to him. Just say fucked up shit to him because he's acting stupid, and you taking it all logically like he's reasonable and stuff. He's a knucklehead. You don't pay no attention to him. And stop letting him do. As a matter of fact, put his ass on the ice because he's just a pain in the butt. I can't stand men like that. I don't know. I just cannot with these people. And this girl, she's dating this guy, she says, who's shy and inexperienced. They're 25. She thinks he's cute. But she says, I notice when I'm not asking questions or talking, there'll be dead silence till I start talking again. I came to learn that he's actually very quiet, shy, and inexperienced. This is new territory for me, but I find it cute. There's one time we had a FaceTime call, though, and it got super quiet when I stopped asking questions. I noticed he was using his computer when I asked what he was up to. He said he was looking up what to ask and then apologized for being so bad at this. He's very smart and passionate about certain things he can speak more on. I really just need advice from anyone who's had similar. Oh, oops, I mixed up the pages. I don't know what happened to that page. But anyway, bottom line is, okay, why would you want to be bothered with a man who can't even hold a conversation? She's putting herself in a situation where she's taking on the burden for carrying the whole relationship, and he's just going to be sitting there. She thinks that shit is cute. He would wear me out, and I don't like my energy drained in the direction like that, so I would be done with him. But these are the kind of things that happen, though. And see, this is merely an example that I found to use to talk about this one point right here. You ladies were given a man who's a lazy bum. You not only carry the burden of, communication. He wants you to keep the bedroom hot and exciting, so you always jumping around, running around, buying, spending a fortune at Vicky's, and reading Cosmo and flipping through all these different Kama Sutras and all this kind of stuff, trying to worry about, keeping him happy. And then you think that you cook, you clean, you always, you want to get your hair and nails, and you want to look all cute for him and stuff. You go through all these changes just to keep this man interested in you. What does he do to keep you interested in him? Somehow that part just seemed to escape a lot of women. You're so busy doing all the work to carry the relationship, to make the relationship hot, to make everything exciting. You plan the dates, you just do everything. You do everything. What does he do for you? And then, like, I had a friend that says, well, he goes to work. He goes to work and then he pays the bill. But this husband that she married, he had the same job that he had before she even met him, same job he had while they were dating, same job, same car, same money. So nothing he was doing was really for her. It was just what he was doing. But she somehow gave him credit for that. Well, she took on the burden of 2 kids, a house, all the shopping, all the cooking, cleaning, this and that, arranging for car repair. She's doing everything. And he just was still doing the same stuff he was doing before he met her. Why do women do that? You have kids with these men. You don't make them step up and do nothing. You be the one doing all stuff for the kids and everything. And then you take on the burden of the house and everything. And then he considers it helping if he does something. Motherfucker, those are your kids and you live here too. I swear. If my husband had acted like that, he got it enough because I said, well, I'm leaving now. Well, and then I would just walk out the door. It's like, you and your daughter have a good afternoon. I'll see y'all later. And he could cook and clean better than me. So it's like, and cook better than me too, except for certain dishes. So I wasn't concerned about him not being able to take care of anything like that. But they just want to put all that responsibility on you, and most of you don't push back. You just do it. You carry the burden for setting up dates. You carry the burden for keeping the romance alive. You take on the burden of keeping the house clean. You take on the burden of keeping care of the kids. You let men get away with murder, and then you let them talk to you crazy, mistreat you, not come through with gifts and time and romance and stuff like that. And then you wonder, we talk about this parenting thing where the parents don't make them step up and act right. But a lot of you ladies pick up that baton and you do the same shit in your relationships. Think about it. Think about how you act and how you fill in all the blanks. It's like you're in a relationship essentially by yourself. The guy is just like the passenger in the boat, just kind of sitting there, going for a ride. I don't understand that. So, all in all, yeah, exactly, Vanna, that's exactly a good way to put it. All in all, in tonight's conversation, we exposed a lot of the issues with the modern man. From my assessment of everything that was said and everything I've been reading about it, for the last 10 years, because this has been on sociologists and psychologists' radar, worldwide, the change in men, and it's not for the good. Personally, I think they need to reinstitute the draft immediately. This is my own personal thing. American males are too fucking soft. They're soft mentally, they're soft physically, they're soft and whiny emotionally, they're little bitches. And there's no way in this world that, they need some military discipline because they're not getting it at home. They're not getting it home. The parents are just as raggedy as the kids are. They let them get away with murder. These boys need some structure. They need somebody to jam his foot down up their ass, make them act right, and make them perform to a certain level. Hey, we need the draft back. That's what we need. In Korea, all young men have to do 24 months in the military. They don't give a fuck who you are. You going. Unless you have some kind of, disability, blind or one leg or something, got spasms or something. It's epilepsy, something. It's something like that. Then you don't go. But every able-bodied young man in his 20s, you're going to spend 2 years in the military and they don't give a fuck who you are. Well, how does that work? All the young men are, trained in, so should there be another war, everybody knows how to fight. Everybody knows how to operate a weapon. Everybody knows hand-to-hand combat. Everybody. I think we need some of that here. They haven't gone yet, but they just got, some of them just got out of their 20s. You have any time up until I think you're 30 or 31, beautiful orchid, to go. So they still got time. All them Korean actors, a lot of them went to 27, 28. BTS isn't that old yet. Except for, I think Rap Monster may be that age. But, they're going to have to go. They're going to have to go. Everybody who's able-bodied goes. That's the rule. You got a comment, Essence?
Hi, Deb. I've been
Hey.
really looking forward to this show just because, it goes without saying that this has been an ongoing trend for years now, but I've noticed even in my circle, it's been a very egregious pattern of women just truly outpacing men in every facet of life. It's kind of insane. There's some points earlier that Angelica was making that was just so true. I was nodding my head along the whole time. These days, men, they don't want to plan dates. They don't know how to effectively communicate. They nickel and dime you for everything. They're terrible conversationalists. And if they do meet the bare minimum, AKA having a job, having a place to live, they somehow conflate that with them being the prize and women doing the legwork and facilitating a relationship. And it's just kind of reaching a point where I'm looking around, I'm looking at, women who are my peers, women who are younger than me, who are older than me, who are just well-educated, they're self-aware, they're emotionally intelligent, very well-rounded individuals. And then we're looking at a lot of these men who are just falling short in every sense of the word. Even the, stories you were reading earlier from these men, to me, the bottom line that I got out of it is oh, I'm mediocre and I can't get laid. Now I'm depressed and I hate women. When, and it's like at this point, I feel like, as women, like, how do we continue to safeguard ourselves from men like this? Because it's just becoming like so egregious. And the conclusions that I've come to at this point is just realizing how at this point it doesn't seem very beneficial for us to enter in marriages, for us to have children with men like this, to continue to focus our energies on, excelling in our careers, owning land, owning property, creating the vision of the lives that we want to have for ourselves. Because at this point, like, men are falling by the wayside. And I know that, there are good men out there, but I feel like as time goes on, it's like literally finding a needle in a haystack. So that's kind of, I just wanted to share my piece on that and, hear more of your thoughts, because I genuinely do feel that evolution wise, we really are at a place where I think that women are really outpacing men, and men are aware of this. And this is why men are very angry. They're, kind of congregating in these different spaces on the internet and even like outside of the web, perpetuating anger and violence towards women, because instead of stepping up to the plate, they want to resort to these tactics as a way to continue to gaslight women into settling and putting up with their awful and mediocre behavior.
Absolutely. Good comments, Essence. Thank you. I have to, kind of dovetail on that because I don't, where was it? Is it on our wall? I'm trying to remember where I saw this comment. But anyway, some guy came and posted that he understands that's why guys, what she just said, why guys are so upset, because before feminism, this is why they blame feminism. Before feminism, women fought for their rights to do things and have the freedoms and the equality that we have. Men didn't really have to do that much. All they had to do was just have a job, right? Because they would go from their parents' house to, some little raggedy apartment or maybe a little house on the GI Bill or something after they finished their service. And then they would have a wife, which means built-in pussy, and they would have a family and stuff. And they didn't really have to do that much. They didn't have to be that stellar. They weren't really asked to perform on a certain level. Okay, but as society has changed and we've gone from a agricultural society to an industrial society to now a computer-based, I forgot what they call those, semiconductors and all this kind of society, information age society. The demands, it puts women in a position where we actually can exceed men and perform better than men because the information age matches the abilities that women have to multitask and to conceptualize and envision and all this kind of stuff, right? Those things that women excel at. The brute force brawn kind of stuff is where men came in the agricultural and industrial age. Well, things have shifted, and what's happening is since men now, as women, are able to meet a lot of their own needs. Now they don't need you to go to work for them because we can make our own paycheck. We don't need you to have a baby. We can go to a sperm bank. We don't need to be married to have social acceptance because there's so many single women that are millionaires and billionaires and stuff worldwide. They own fantabulous businesses. They're CEOs, CFOs, all kinds of stuff is going on. They don't really need men like society was set up before that women were forced to need men because you couldn't do anything like over in the Middle East unless you had a man. Okay, nobody lives like that anymore. So what it's doing is making men have to perform to a new level, new standard, and they don't like it. It's making them have to give more. They don't want to. It's making them have to, give up themselves and be involved and communicate with women in a different way that meets our needs. They just are mad that they have to do that and don't get the benefits that they feel like they're entitled to without doing those things. So, the fact that you want somebody to take you on a date and stuff like that and romance you and wine and dine you, they're like, well, why should I have to do that? I should just be able to get pussy because I want it. That's what they really feel. Well, I like you, so you should like me back because I have a job and an apartment and a car. No, that might have worked in the 1810s, honey, but it don't work now. You need to have more. What are you offering her? and you're not offering her something that's gonna make it something that she wants, then you don't get no pussy. You don't get her anyway. You might have to go somewhere and pay for it. That's what they got OnlyFans for. There ain't nobody trying to be, but there are women, they write to the advice column every week about the women who accept the bare minimum. And where does that get them? Except for writing an advice columnist. Because people in happy relationships don't write advice columns. Only people who are miserable do. And there's just as many men writing in as women these days. So, for the men listening to this is what we need to do, ladies, as we get ready to wind this down, because it's Sunday. I know a lot of people got to go to work tomorrow. What is it that you want from men? What is it that men need to provide you? If a young man has been living this raggedy lifestyle of non-productivity, blame shifting, irresponsibility, not being a man of his word, no drive, no ambition, no accountability, nothing. Okay, he's like, okay, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of being by myself. I want to have a wife. I want to have a family. And I know I have to perform at a higher level to acquire those things. This is his stretch goal. Okay, he's gonna stretch to get you. What kind of things does he need to show you? What kind of things does he have to be? You guys type it, or if you have some stuff you want to share on audio, so this on the recording, here's the link. You just click it, and you can present your thoughts right here on the show. Become part of the recording. The question again is, now that we've talked about all the problems, what are the solutions? What is it that if a guy says, okay, you ladies made good points. I don't want to be one of them raggedy dudes. I want to be the kind of man that a woman would be proud to claim as her own. I want to be the kind of man that my children will happily introduce, proudly say, that's my daddy. That's how I used to be about my father. Honey, I thought that nigga walked on water. You couldn't tell me nothing about my daddy. My daddy, the sun rose set on his head. The stars were spewed forth from his mouth. Everything from his lips was golden. There was nothing my daddy couldn't do. My daddy could build everything. He could make everything happen. I had that kind of confidence in him. And I saw him do it. Okay? It wasn't just talking. I saw it. If I said I wanted something, he would go down in the basement, pull out his toolbox and his saws and shit and build it. He would make the shit happen. How can these young men today that are living this raggedy, fucked up lifestyle change? What do they need to do? What do they need to become? What do they need to show you that would make you choose him as your man? Okay. Let's see. Domo, you have a comment. You have to unmute your mic.
Hey, Miss Deborah. Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think for myself as a young woman, one of the most important things is having good character. Nowadays, people, just like you were saying back in the day, there's so many people, they're just based off, oh, I have money. Oh, yeah, I'm running this, I'm doing that. But having good character, I noticed in a lot of the relationships you've talked about, and a lot of them, they don't have these guys or these women that they are. Their characters is off.
Exactly. I think a lot of them, they don't even have a good example of manhood to follow. So that's why I thought, okay, maybe they don't, but maybe the ladies could give them a few ideas of, what kind of things, what kind of character traits, behavioral traits, personal attitudes, personality, whatever that you're looking for that would make them, be a kind of guy that you would give us, take a second look at and possibly elevate up to the level of husband.
Well, for me, I would say someone who is generous, someone who's respectable, someone who's honest, someone who is open-minded, someone who has they are able to control their emotions, especially your temper
Tell it,
and
girl. Tell it.
yeah, and emotional support, that's also a good one. Someone who can be generous and knows how to step in, be the leader is if it's.
Okay. Those are good. What about money?
Hmm. I like more of a provider, man. Like I like guys who know how to step up and do when it's like, dude, they know how to step up and do those sort of things. I don't have to ask them, or someone who's not going to be like, well, I did this and that for you. What you going to do for me? I like generous too.
Oh, that tit for tat crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you bring for the table.
Oh God. If the next person who asks me that, I'm gonna cut his tongue off. You can't say that stupid question no more. Okay, thanks, Domo.
No problem.
See, I'm just flashing some of the comments that you are making across the screen. These are great comments that the ladies are making, guys, that you want to know some tips and some tips that things are, that you can do, ways you can improve yourself, your game, your personality, your how you interact with women, how you plan for your future, the kind of things that these women are college educated, these women are young, they're the kind of women that you would talk to. Ain't nobody here ugly. They're the kind of ladies that your parents would be happy for you to bring home to meet them. You know, that she got a point there. On this entertainment, and that's what we do on this channel. B. Williams, is spend time trying to teach young girls whose parents have neglected to teach them how to vet men and what to look for. But that's only part of the issue, like I said. The part is, the other part is, okay, we're teaching women what to look for. We're teaching women how to be great wives and mothers and to look for the husband, look for a certain kind of man and all this kind of stuff. But if nobody's teaching men to be those kind of men, then what's the point? Okay, it's a two-pronged process. They have to go hand in hand. They have to work together. These are all great suggestions. Everyone is, really coming up, stepping up, and sharing some great ideas here. And it's like, shoot, I can't even click them fast enough to get them up on the screen. And this is right here is the key. Men need to raise men. Ooh, if only it were that easy. For some reason, you know, that's very true. Glassy eyes. I'm sorry. It's very true. But you have a lot of people that don't understand that a partnership is we. And so they go into still thinking about themselves. If someone is thinking about themselves, they're not thinking about we. They're full of I, and we. That's the problem when you have stuff about when guys cheat. They're thinking about themselves. They're not thinking about their relationship. They're not thinking about their mate. They're not thinking about their children. They're not thinking about how it's going to destroy their parents. They didn't be how embarrassed them that their son is such a trifling piece of shit. They don't think about any of that. They're only thinking in that moment about themselves. And so I think that's an issue. We have to become the men well, yeah, I can't remember who said that, but you're right. Well, I think in some instances we do it better because of the way that women uh, are constructed mentally. You know, let's let me get Kier is back. What's up, Kier?
Oh, hey, I was just writing some notes real quick. Let me see. Let's see. I want someone who's not a crowd follower.
Who can think for himself? Yes.
Can you stand on your own? Like, do you have the mindset of someone who's a coding inspector? Are you looking for problems and making sure that they're not becoming an even bigger problem? You're not just waiting for there to become a problem. A coding inspector is someone who makes sure that there are no problems, even when there isn't a problem. They're always looking to make sure. So, do you have the mind of someone who's like a coding inspector? Are you trying to fix things before it gets to the point to where it's no point of no return? Or are you just sitting there waiting for the levee to break? Are you strong in the face of other males? Can you stand up for me when I'm not around you? Do you have respect with your eyes when it comes to me? Where's your
Ooh,
respect
good
with your
one.
eyes? And can you feel 100% of yourself with me? Because I want to be able to feel that way too. But of course, I'm going to annoy you. You're going to get on my nerves. I'm going to get on your nerves. And of course, I would love to say, you better be glad I like you right now. Because that's going to happen. So,
Oh
that's
yeah,
just a
girl.
little
That's
bit.
gonna someday you're gonna wake up and just look at him and be like, you know what? I wish you would die. Just die. Why don't you just die? But then 10 minutes later, you're like, I love you so much.
Right? What were we even fighting about?
Yeah, it's like that. But the main thing is that that you two are gonna be on the other side of it because of your commitment to each other. You know. But yeah, we used to
And
be
yeah,
like
and
that.
I love what you said years ago. That was great advice. Not making sure you're not mad for too long. You give it a week. If that, like, no, because life's too short. I like when you
Yeah,
said that. Because I was like, oh no, I'm gonna hold on to a grudge. But you were like, well, what you holding on for? You got a week. I'm like, well, yeah, she got a point. There's no reason to go that far. I'm in my 30s now, so I'm like, yeah, you know what? There's no reason for that.
girl, I'm
I'm
telling you, because you start them days start going by faster and faster and faster the older you get, and so then before you know it, a month will go by and you be like, oh
mhm. Even like you said with dates, I'm like, I'm right at this point. I'm like, I just want to have fun. I want to have fun again. Like if the date don't work out, who cares? We don't gel together. We don't vibe together. It's okay. Go with whoever. It's cool. We had a time together. We didn't work out. We didn't vibe. No hard feelings. Yeah, we ain't got to take it so seriously. There's millions of other people out there.
that's right. That's tell it right there. Well, this has been great, you guys. I guess I will open up the phone lines. Here's the link one more time for anyone who has some closing comments. I tried to put as many of the comments across the screen as I could. But for anyone the young men, like I said, if you really want to make yourself a better person, you maybe didn't get the parenting that you should have got. Maybe your parents didn't really know what to do. I'm not going to say that they were all, crazy for a reason. Sometimes they had poor parenting, so they don't really know what they're doing. It's really interesting that parenting is one of the most important jobs that we have to do as an adult, but there's no test for it. There's no license, no permit required. You just get pregnant and you a parent. You just make some woman pregnant and you a daddy. So, sometimes I think a little more thought needs to go into this. What's going to be, what is your goal for your child? What is it you want your child to be when they are an adult? How do you want to navigate them to that point? That's your job as a parent. It's like the heaviest responsibility that you can ever take on. But if you find yourself as a young man you didn't get those lessons, no one talked to you about manhood. You don't really know what you're doing. You pitching around and you lost and confused like the dudes I saw on Reddit today. These ladies have provided you with a roadmap. Go through the chat. You can listen to me and then read the comments that they have made about what kinds of characters, traits, personality, things, and actions that you need to take to reparent yourself, to change yourself into a man that women would just be extremely proud to be with. There's no reason, no matter what you look like as a man, you can find somebody to love you as long as you meet that woman's emotional needs. But you crying, whining, pouting, throwing temper tantrums, being violent, saying vile, nasty things to women online or in person is not the ticket. Okay, because a woman with high self-esteem is gonna pass you by. She's gonna be like, oh no, he's all fucked up. I'm not trying to be bothered with you. And if you're having some mental health issues, take your ass to a shrink and start getting that worked on. Okay? Because, a woman who's mentally healthy is not going to want to be bothered with you because you're going to drag her down. So there's a lot of work that you need to do on yourself to be a man who's desirable. These pickup artist places, they tell you all these games and tricks and stuff to run. I mean, that might work on silly young girls who, not, but if you're a man who's, you've in their late 20s, 30s, whatever, and you want a serious relationship, you want a mate, you want a partner, you want a wife, you want a family, you want to grow as a human being in partnership and in love, you cannot use those tricks and games. That shit, I don't even know why men were gravitating to that nonsense. You want to grow to be the kind of man that a woman wants, listen to women. They will tell you what women want, and then you do that, and then you have women. It's real simple. Okay? It's not hard. Yeah, but you guys, I think you guys did a really, really good job of pulling out stuff, and talking about some of the issues that, the things, the problems that you've encountered as women. I think everyone did a really, really good job of, being honest and really opening up and sharing. So I want to thank everybody who called and shared their thoughts too, because I know that's kind of hard and people be, a little nervous and stuff. But I appreciate that, you guys took the risk and shared your thoughts. So let's see what Kelson got to say. Yes, we must focus on those things: integrity and character, and a sense of responsibility is the key things. And if more young men had those traits working for them, a lot of other stuff that would fall into place. So thanks, Keith, for saying that to remind me to reiterate that. So coming up, we'll still have, What the Fuck Tuesdays coming up on our Christmas Eve show. We're going to have this. Now I added, since we had so many people who were at the last minute with the thing the other day on the $8 advice, I added, so we're going to have a twofer. I'll be doing what the fuck questions, and you also have the opportunity to do your real-time advice submissions as well. So I got, I think it was 6-7 emails. People were like, oh, I wanted to send my question in, but it ended. It's like, don't wait till the last minute. Damn it. You waited till I was ready to sign off, and then you want to send in your question. I owe one lady a question. I'm going to answer her question on Tuesday at the first of the What the Fuck, because she had already paid her thing, but I didn't see it. I really apologize. And so I'm going to answer her question on Tuesday before I even get started with the column. And so that's the thing. If you have a question, kind of get yourself ready, get your little mindset so everything's in place for you to submit your question. And once again, make sure you hit that like before you get up out of here. Share a link. You can share this one or any of the other 1,000 videos on here, and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate everybody's love and support tonight. You guys made this show what it is. You shared some wonderful, wonderful contributions, thoughts, and opinions that I appreciate you taking the time to share. Thanks everybody who came and sat with us and listened in and provided great contributions and super chats and your support for the channel. I appreciate it. You guys go forth and make everyone around you feel great. That's how we're going to do this today, all right? I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Bye-bye.